scores. Mays, a three, bullseye. Getting to crunch time in the Mountain West season. What a fascinating matchup here at ExtraMile Arena in Boise. New Mexico and Boise State coming up on the Mountain West Network. Welcome courtside alongside Breland Blanding, Chris Lewis on hand. Both these teams come in red hot, winners of 4 of 5 after facing each other about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, both teams on a winning 4 of their last 5, with one of them being from San Diego State, who was second in the conference. So both teams, yeah, like you said, on a hot streak, kind of looking to keep that going here.
All right, so one of the players for Boise State that has been a player to watch really throughout this season has been Abby Muse. And she's climbing closer and closer to the single season all-time blocks leader at Boise State. But last time out against Nevada, she became the program leader in blocks for Boise State. She continues to do it all for the Broncos, not just on defense.
Yeah, I mean, she's coming into this game ranked 3rd nationally with 71 blocks on the season, but you're right, she does it in all types of areas. From this past week here, she's averaged a double-double with 14.5 points, along with 11.5 rebounds. So she's doing it all, grabbing boards, putting stuff back, and just being there for her teammates whenever they need her.
And again, she's right at top of the conference in blocks, top 5 in the nation in that category. Entering this game, New Mexico, they're 14-10, 6-5 in the Mountain West, just a half game back of Boise State. You can see right there, 25th meeting all time between the teams. New Mexico has won the last 3, including the game in the pit just a couple of weeks back. Now, New Mexico coming off of a big win of their own against San Diego State, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and that was fueled by a 15-0 run in the first quarter. They were able to take away that game, winning 83-78. But again, they won 4 out of their last 5 games, and they're doing it with a balanced scoring attack. Last week had 5 players averaging double figures, so they can kill you in a lot of different ways. So that's Boise State. You got to watch out for that.
You got to watch out for the long ball. New Mexico, last couple of seasons, they get up a bunch of threes. They make a lot of threes. Will be one of the key elements to watch as we get this thing started. Boise State and New Mexico meeting for the 2nd time this season. Tip-off just minutes away from ExtraMile Arena. Lights out as they introduce the starting lineups. You can see the starting lineup this time for Boise State. Anna Osley remains in the starting lineup, her 4th start, with the absence of Maya Hansen, the star freshman for the Broncos, missing another game with her injury. For the New Mexico Lobos, who come in 14-10, 6-5 in the Mountain West. The Duff sisters, Latora, Latacia, with Amaya Brown rounding out the guards. Paula Reyes, Shaquel Magruder. The bigs down low. Gordy Presnell is the Boise State head coach, 18th year, the all-time winningest. At Boise State, you can see it there, 6 times he's been in the NCAAW tournaments. Another experienced coach on the other side for New Mexico in Mike Bradbury. His 7th year here with the Lobos. Former head coach at Wright State and Moorhead State. Up-tempo style of play. His teams like to shoot a lot of threes. We're underway at ExtraMile Arena. 2nd meeting of the season between Boise State and New Mexico. Abby Muse going to work right away, delivering the hook shots.
What a beautiful shot that was. I mean, just taking your time, getting the ball and reading the defense, and was able to knock down that hook with the left hand.
VNA Cumber in the starting lineup. My mistake earlier. I mentioned Reyes being a starter. She's actually coming in off the bench, and she's been doing that over the last couple of weeks. So with Cumber in the starting lineup for New Mexico, just 3 on the shot clock. Brown, pressure, Duff gets it off. Off the back of the rim, was close. Boise State secures.
And that was a good defensive open possession for Boise State to force New Mexico into a tough shot with the shot clock winding down.
Mary Kay Nara lines up the 3, delivers.
Nice to see her get going That hasn't been a strong point for her this season, but she can definitely knock it down if she's left wide open.
Abby Muse already sending a message. The all-time leader in career blocks for Boise State. That's 150.
Yeah, I mean, what an awesome rotation. Got there on time. A great contestant. She just sends that to the baseline.
Top 5 in the country in blocks per game. 2.8 coming in. Wayward inbounds, gets to Taduff. Brown operates on Bays. Brown, the senior from Albuquerque. Lobos with 5 New Mexico natives on the team. Clock down to 5. LaTorra Duff has to work. Gets the switch on Muse. 1 to shoot. Gets it off. Halfway down. McGruder tips the rebound, brings it down. Ripped away. And the official on the baseline, Jeffrey Benson, didn't see it. Gets help. It says New Mexico ball.
And there, another possession with New Mexico having to shoot a tough contested shot, but great job by McGruder for the fight on the offensive rebound with 3 Broncos around her.
Cumber off back iron. And a rebound chase by Narrow. Muse on the block. Opposite. Here's Lalott. Drop step, hook off glass. So good to see Lalott get going. Was limited to just 14 minutes in the Boise State win against Fresno State last time out. Fouled out. Beautiful teardrop goes and one. Latacia Duff, a great three-point shooter, run off the line, but can get 3 the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, I mean, what a beautiful floater. We all know that Abby Muse is a great shot blocker, so aware of that, having to shoot it high over the hand to avoid the block, and Abby Muse got her with the body on the landing, and it's a great move.
Taduff, second on the team in scoring, coming in 12.5 per game. A 92% free throw shooter, one of the best shooters that the Mountain West has. New Mexico's first 3 points. Ashley finds Narrow, stop and pop triple. Too much. A lot tips. Rebound gobbled up by Duff. Brown runs the floor. All around Brown. Dribbles it off her knee and out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a good push to try to get some offense going. They've struggled in their half-court set, but just dribbled it off the leg there.
Yeah, Maya Brown, her nickname, All Around Brown. And fits her game. She does everything. A valuable member of the starting 5. Danny Bays, the Australian, all alone, and buries it.
Yeah, she was. That's kind of what's going to be open when you press like that, full court. Those corners, those opposites are going to be open. And Mary Kay saw her, but she didn't have enough time to get that pass over there.
There's an offensive foul called on New Mexico. Amaya Brown called for her first, and the team's first. So an excellent start for Boise State. These teams met January 21st, so not too long ago. New Mexico won it 76-68. Shai McGruder was unstoppable. 25 points, 14 rebounds. The second quarter was the difference-making quarter in that game. New Mexico outscored Boise State 23-9 in quarter 2. Late shot clock here. Bays has to recognize. Picks it up. Has it knocked away. Shot clock winds down. And either way, it's a Boise State turnover.
Yeah, that's the first rattled possession that we've seen by Boise State today. And it took them a while to break that press. And that's the whole purpose, is to slow them down, try to get them to start their offense later in the shot clock. And it worked in that possession there.
Off ball set up for Cumber. Kicks it out to the corner, 3 short from Brown, who committed the foul in the last possession. Osley provides that shooting in the starting lineup, misses the 3. Lassoed in by Brown on the board. Brown, the preseason Mountain West newcomer of the year, the transfer from Florida State's. Lobos out of control there, and it's off the knee and out. Boise State possession.
Yeah, that's the second fast break we've seen off of the knee, but it looks like it was deflected here by whoever was that Mary Kay Narrow? I think that was Mary Kay Narrow, stuck her hand in there and got that deflection, and it went right off the knee there.
Transition, Muse zooms through. Abby Muse, 2 field goals for 4.
Yeah, that was a good find and a good rim run. Ran straight down the middle of the lane and was able to be found for that wide open layup in stride.
5 out, no in set for New Mexico. This is what they do to get a lot of threes up. 11th in the nation in made threes. That time the 3 is off. Narrow, a big lead guard for Boise State, stands at 5'11". Lalott wants it in the post, size advantage, flips it up and through. The 2 Bronco bigs have combined for 8 of the 14. What a start for Boise State. Long 3 by Latora Duff. And the Broncos on the board. 4 players ready to check in at the next whistle. Right now, Boise State flowing on both sides. Off a screen, they go under. Osley lets loose. Rebound secured by Cumber. The 2 sisters in the starting lineup. Latacia Duff, Latora Duff. There's a long line of sisters in the Mountain West that have been big-time performers in this league. That's Amaya Brown getting the second field goal for New Mexico. Transition 3, Bayes short. Osley pulls it in. Boise State had the Palacoa twins. Elbow jumper for Lalott, too strong. Of course, you have the Gonzalez sisters for UNLV. There's Latacia Duff, too much. And the Broncos again on the rebound.
This game is flowing, isn't it? Only had 1 stop for a couple of turnovers and 2 free throws, but both teams doing a good job of adjusting and moving fast.
Lalott, hook shot up and in. Great pace, as you mentioned, in this game. Still a long time without a whistle. Also got to mention the Kavanagh twins who played for Fresno State. Yep. Long line of great performing sisters in this conference. And the Duffs, just the latest. Elbow J by Cumber, no. Boise State, 7 for their first 12 from the floor. Four of the 5 players have already scored. The only one who hasn't is Osley. Here's Bayes, tries to muscle it up, poked away. Great defense by Brown. Here's the fast break, Latacia Duff off glass. You can see the players almost huffing and puffing at this point as we're getting under the 3-minute mark. Haven't had her under 5 timeout yet.
Yeah, and I mean, Boise State has 4 people waiting to check in to try to relieve because, yeah, this game has been up and back without a dead ball. Like you mentioned, no media timeout yet, and it's almost 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah, the stride's a little bit longer, a little bit slower in transition. Cumber wants 3. That one's short. Magruder on the glass. Muse says no. Second block shot of the first quarter for Abby Muse. Back out to the Lobos. Attacking Brown. Up and under. Muse again. Sends it away. Brown once more. Lays it up and through.
Man, these girls are hustling out here right now. And, I mean, Abby Muse doing everything she can to alter these shots here.
And Coach Fresnel says enough is enough for Boise State. Calls timeouts. Danny Bayes from the corner. Boise State by 7. New Mexico and Boise State head-to-head. A look at the numbers.
Yeah, one thing that stands out to me, of course, is Boise State being first in rebounds per game, and right now they're only, or actually New Mexico is out-rebounding them right now at this point, but that's one thing that sticks out to me, and yeah, both teams shooting okay from the field. Boise State just a little lower than New Mexico, but right now in this game, they're 7 for 12, shooting 58%.
All right, one thing to keep in mind, before that stoppage, as Pasco into the game, takes a 3 short. There was a long stretch without a whistle, so now both teams going a bit to the bench. We'll see how you handle it when it's unique like that. You usually have that under 5 stoppage, the first whistle under 5, but even an extra 3 minutes before having that whistle as Latora Duff hits the interior shot. So in a way, throws off the rotations a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of messes with the rhythm, especially since Boise State started out so hot, shooting so well from the field. And now, you know, 4 of those 5 starters are getting some rest on the bench. But when you have players that know that they need to step up in the absence of Maya Hansen and coming off a 3-game winning streak, they're definitely capable of still being able to perform.
And Nero, the only starter remaining in for Boise State, so new players who've entered the lineup, including Allie Heckman, Emily Pasco, Trishka Hull, Tatum Thompson. New Mexico, much more shallow team. They only played 7 in their last game against San Diego State, a game in which they won 83-78. There's a travel call. Gives it back to the Broncos. And you'll see Reyes and Ogman typically come off the bench. Pasco transition 3, gets it back. Another chance on a teardrop.
Yeah, that was a good follow on her 3 there. I mean, you're the one who shot it. You know that it's short. And that was a good follow to get that rebound and able to convert on that second chance opportunity.
So Reyes and Ogman both in for New Mexico after that stoppage. Boise State leads by 7. Step back from Duff to the right. And Hull secures a rebound. Shot clock turned off. Boise State can hold for 1. Does Thompson elect to do it? Dribble handoff, clock down, backdoor, Thompson from Hull. Great ball movements.
Yeah, great backdoor cut and great find.
Latora Duff a step inside half court. And that'll do it for the first quarter. New Mexico won the meeting in Albuquerque. Then Boise, so far it's all Broncos after 1. A rapid-fire first quarter completed ExtraMile Arena. For perspective, you know, each quarter is 10 minutes long on the game clock. That quarter in real time took about 14 minutes. There was very few stoppages. The media timeout came about 3 minutes after it was scheduled to. You're a former player. What's it like playing in a game like this where there's very few moments for you to catch your breath? A lot of free-flowing action.
Yeah, you just kind of play in the moment. You don't really realize what's going on until you have that break. And when it's at 3 minutes, you're kind of like, whoa, we played 7 minutes already.
It's like pickup noon at the YMCA. Up and down, no whistles.
Yeah, you kind of get that initial game plan from the head coach to start the game, and when you don't get any further instruction until the 3-minute mark, you're kind of running the same play. You're kind of just playing and flowing like you mentioned. It's trying to kind of get a groove going, but at the same time trying to make sure that you're not getting too sloppy, not taking plays off because you are winded, you are tired.
3 bricked from Reyes. Trishka Hull, one of the bigs off the Bronco bench, gets the rebound. Thompson ahead of the pack. She thought she was pushed in the back. No foul. Hey, you might need to draw blood to get a foul in this game.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely contact there, but what a great finish and a great look-ahead pass from Mary Kay Nero to hit her out in transition.
Jeffrey Benson, Bill Buck, Callie Kimura, the 3 officials, haven't had to use the whistles very much. Step back, Duff. She gets it off quick in front of the rim.
But yeah, as you mentioned, only 1 personal foul from each team. That's definitely something that you don't see every game.
Another thing you don't see every game, New Mexico starting 0 for 9 from behind the arc. There's a foul, a rare one on the rotation. It's a blocking foul. Called on Anaya Ogman, the sophomore out of San Jose.
Yeah, she tried to get there and take that charge, but it did look like she got hit in the face with an elbow, but she definitely didn't make it there in time, so that was a good call.
The reward is a couple of free throws, the first 2 of the game for Boise State. Hull's a 67% free throw shooter. Two of 2 on the trip. Offensive-minded big off the bench. Her second season at Boise State was the freshman of the week in December last year. 24-11, Boise State. Man, New Mexico shooting just 22% so far. Cumber lines up the 3, and there's the first for New Mexico in 10 attempts.
Yeah, I mean, she caught that one in stride. Definitely caught it right there in the shot pocket. Good delivery, and I know they're happy to see one fall through.
And how much of that is important, getting the pass in the spot that a shooter wants?
I mean, you don't have to do anything else but catch and shoot, which is something that when you practice, that's how you practice. You don't practice it with, I mean, you might here and there with wild passes, but for the most part, you're practicing with the perfect pass in stride to be able to let it go. So that makes a huge impact.
Cumber off on a 3, and you got to hit the deck in this game to draw the foul call, and that's exactly what happened there. But it's called on Boise State, Trisha Hall.
Yeah, it did look like she kind of had the arm around the shoulder there. Both players hustling for that loose ball, for that rebound, and it goes in New Mexico's favor.
After 1 foul total in the first quarter, already 2 in the second. Jalen Bates in for New Mexico at the controls at the guard spot. Averages 11 minutes per game off the bench. Duff, great pass into the lane for Augman, who gets hammered.
Yeah, she definitely no-looked that pass off. She could have shot the layup herself there. It would have been a little contested, but no-look pass there, and definitely had contact, and now she's at the line for 2 free throws. Something that we haven't seen much of in this game so far, but.
First foul on Allie Heckman. Naya Augman, 2 on the first. She's really upped her game in Mountain West play. She's averaging 10 points, 5.5 boards in league play, just 7 per game overall. Second highest scoring game of her career last time out against San Diego State, scoring 17.
When you know you're playing the top team in the league, you kind of have a different mindset coming into the game, knowing that you do have to give it your all in order to walk away with the win, and she definitely lived up and performed very well.
Both teams playing really well in this most recent stretch. Boise State and New Mexico have both won 4 of 5. Boise State's won 4 of 5 since their loss to New Mexico at the pits. Step back, Thompson gets it to rattle in.
Yeah, that was a good shot under contest there. I mean, very high level of difficulty on that step back, but she jumped so high, she was able to get good lift there and was able to get a good release.
And she took off the red shirt right before the end of the year, the calendar year of 2022. And she's been a boost in 2023 in conference play. Just providing that athleticism at that wing position, ability to rebound. Allie Heckman gets loose and hits. Just a 27% three-point shooter so far this season, but she can get them up. And Boise State leads by 15, their largest. Augman for a rolling Magruder has been quiet. Fadeaway, no. Narrow, vacuums it in.
Yeah, that one was a little bit of a fadeaway shot. Definitely probably not the shot that she wanted, but I mean, when you're one of the better players, you definitely have to try to force the issue, especially down 15.
Magruder hasn't scored, leads the team 14 at contest, although she has been struggling over the last few games. That one nearly dropped after the roll from Duff. But going back to Shaquille Magruder, last 3 games, just 5 points per game, 7 for 17 shooting, and maybe the most stunning stat, 7 combined rebounds in that stretch.
Yeah. Sometimes you have those periods where you got to try to regroup and figure it out.
And you can see her wearing the tape on her shoulder there, so you don't know exactly what she's battling through as Magruder battles and scores her first 2 points of the game, and a timeout called. This might be an injury stoppage, yes, as Mary Kate Narrow is banged up. So she heads to the bench. Elodie Lalott comes back in.
Yeah, and she's going to head out to the back. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but she definitely was grimacing and holding something while she was on the ground and tried to get up and walk it off, but just couldn't. So
So Jada Clark getting a stint. A sophomore out of Richland, Washington. Remember, Boise State played without Maya Hansen, the freshman who's basically the second ball handler. She starts at the shooting guard, but plays the backup points. With Narrow out, let's see how the Broncos handle it. First possession, turnover. Tay Duff for three, bullseye. Latasia Duff, the 6th player of the year in the Mountain West a season ago, cuts it to a 10-point game.
Yeah, that's only their second 3 of the game here. Definitely don't want them to get hot and get going here.
That's a shove on the sideline. Tatum Thompson, step back. Looking like Clay Thompson. The Broncos up 10. During the last run of action, you can see it right there, number 12 for Boise State, Mary Kay Narrow, stepping on her teammate's foot and rolling that right ankle. She remained down for a beat, was assisted back to the sideline, was taken to the back for a look, and for Boise State, already down a ball handler, Maya Hansen out for this game, missing her 4th with an injury. Lalott fouled underneath. So that's a pressing concern for a team that now has to go deeper into their bench for point guards.
Yeah, I mean, you're already down a primary ball handler, and now you might possibly be down another. And Mary Kay Narrow averages the most minutes on this team in conference at a little over 31 minutes a game. So she definitely has a huge impact on the way this offense runs. And without her, it's definitely going to be an adjustment for Boise State. But these are things that happen in basketball, and you gotta be ready to go whenever your number's called. Paula
Reyes, who started a majority of the games, the first 20, before coming off the bench as of late, dips in, gets to New Mexico within 8. Again, Boise State playing without their 2 main point guards, and again a turnover. So struggling without Hansen and Narrow. Brown bullies and scores. Amaya Brown, who had 11 the last time these teams met.
Yeah, and that's a 7-0 run for New Mexico over the last minute and a half. So they're scoring, they're doing it quick.
You can tie it right together from when Narrow left with that injury. Jada Clark is in at that point guard spot. Little U sophomore from Washington. And every pass is more difficult when you don't have your point guard. Hughes step through, hook shot. Brought in down low by Reyes, who gets fouled.
And I'm pretty sure during that media timeout, it was stressed that, hey, we need to apply more pressure. You know, it looks like the last couple of possessions, New Mexico has been in their grill, not allowing them to make an easy pass or to get the ball out easy. So credit them for stepping up their defense as of late as well.
Mary Kay Narrow, you can see at the top left of your screen, back at the scorer's table. So it looks like she got that taped up and is ready to go. Meanwhile, Jada Clark, who played her high school ball for Haley Middleton, the sister of former Boise State guard Brady Hodgins, getting perhaps some of her most important minutes. Hook shot for Lalai, way off. A whistle away from the ball here. Jeffrey Benson blew the whistle.
Looks like he called maybe an offensive foul.
A technical foul. We just had Bill Buck whisper over a technical foul on Mike Radbury, the New Mexico head coach. He's one of the more demonstrative coaches in the Mountain West. And one of the more successful ones, too. Year after year, New Mexico's near the top of the league. But he sometimes can be relentless towards the officials. And that time they weren't having it. Jeffrey Benson, I believe, the one to call the technical.
Yeah, sometimes you got to say what you got to say. It didn't look like he had much to say after the tech was called. He was like, okay.
And Osley hits on both. So Mike Bradbury, 134 and 75. That's a great record in his 7th year at New Mexico. Former head coach at Wright State and Moorhead State. he's upset, he'll let you know. We're still discussing it with Callie Kamura, one of the officials. Elodie Lalott carves out some space, and Boise State has resettled themselves back up 10.
And that shot, it's very hard to make. I mean, you got to have great touch.
And New Mexico with a turnover there, the pass out of the reach of VNA Cumber.
Yeah, they tried to do a little kind of back flare screen there, and it's always hard because there's like 3 people in between the passer and the one receiving that catch. So you got to, first of all, make sure that you're not going to turn it over to the other team, but also make sure that you're hitting your shooter in the shot pocket that we talked about earlier, and just kind of threw that one a little too far.
Got to have a little Patrick Mahomes, right? That lead pass, and that time was overthrown from the quarterback, and it's a turnover for New Mexico.
Yeah, trying to get out in transition. That was a good run there. Put her hand out like, hey, I'm open, and I mean, still had to try to throw it over defenders in that possession as well. So not some easy passes. Their level of difficulty is a little higher on those. So I can see the error there.
We're talking Mahomes. Do you have a Super Bowl pick?
I'm going to go with Philadelphia.
Philly.
Yeah.
There you go. That's my original home city. Fade away for Elodie Lalott. Good stretch for Lalott since she's been reinserted. 4 straight. She is 10.
Yeah, already in double figures here and shooting great percentage from the field at 5 for 7.
Brown muscles it up off the front rim. Hughes tallies another rebound. Leads the team in boards coming in at 8.2 per game. Wants it on the seal. Drop step, fade, and the hook is pure.
Yeah, that was a great move.
Boise State has their starting 5 back in and seeing similar results to the beginning of the game where they built the double-digit lead. Tay Duff, count the basket.
Yeah, Abby Mace cannot believe it there. It didn't look like there was much contact on the layup, but definitely hit the body as she went in. But that was a great draw of contact to know that this is a shot blocker. So you do have to kind of create that contact and sort of fade away on the layup as she did and was able to knock it down.
Tay Duff completes the 3-point play. She eclipsed the 1,000-point mark last time out in her New Mexico career, her 78th game and 1,000 points. Step back, Bays wants 3, too strong. Maya Brown, credit for the boards. She's limping back down the floor, and like Bradbury, almost like a referee ejecting a coach or a player. Had that just like the thumb to the back of the shoulder, like get out. And all of a sudden, Anaya Ogman is back in.
Yeah, every possession is vital. You don't want to have an offensive possession here, basically playing 4-on-5 if someone's injured.
Shot clock, game clock, nearly the same. New Mexico can pretty much hold for one. One of the rare times that you'll see a Mike Bradbury team go slow. And a foul, and a 3-second violation, not a foul, a whistle, 3 seconds. Boise State's bench was calling it out as the Lobos weren't moving in the set, and I believe it was Tay Duff positioned in the lane right here
yeah,
at the
she's
right of your
just
screen.
Standing in there, 3-second call, easy for the refs. I mean,
look at the Boise State bench. Coach Prestel's pointing it out like, hey, she's not moving from the lane.
yeah, that's
a great look from our crew.
Yeah, I mean, as a guard, you're not aware that you do have to step out and step back in.
Yeah, it's usually not your domain. 3 seconds, narrow for Osley. Can she get it off? She does, but not close. And that'll do it for the first half. What a good one for Boise State. An 11-point lead at home. Looking for win number 4 in a row, their first 4-game winning streak since the 1920 season. And the action at ExtraMile Arena does not stop at halftime. Always great to see the halftime entertainment, the youth out here getting some shots in. Boise State leads the end of the first half. 39-28. Good game against New Mexico. Boise State leads at halftime over New Mexico. First half, about as good as you can get for Boise State, shooting 50% from the floor. Now, a lot of it has had to do with the quality of looks that the blue and orange have had. They've gotten into the interior quite a bit. As points in the paint, the story coming in, New Mexico relies a lot on the three-point shot. Boise State felt like they had an advantage on the interior.
Yeah, and I mean, they're doing a great job at just finishing in the paint there. I mean, you got Ellie Lalott with 10 points as she leads Boise State, and all of her points are, of course, in the paint. And then Abby Muse tagging in 6 points as well, going 3 for 4. So both of them together are shooting very efficient to add and contribute to that 50% from the field.
You see the numbers there. Boise State 50% shooting, 23% from behind the arc, just 3 of 13. But maybe the more striking is New Mexico, a team that's usually amongst the better in the conference at not just three-point percentage, but three-point volume. They only made 2 threes in the first half, so Boise State made more threes in the first 20 minutes than New Mexico did. Neither team's missed a free throw, rebounds nearly even. Both teams with 8 turnovers in the first half.
Yeah, and I mean, you might can play some of that as far as playing on the road, having to, you know, shoot in a gym that you're not really familiar with, and all that plays a part as well. And talking about the turnovers, they both have the same amount of turnovers, but New Mexico has no steals. So all their turnovers are off of kind of those dead balls. As you know, we've seen a lot of passes that are just a little too long. And as far as Boise State with their 8 turnovers, New Mexico has 7 steals. So Boise State has those live ball turnovers where you kind of got to get back on defense. But both teams have 11 points off of those turnovers. So that's just another thing that I just happen to see when taking a peek at the stats here.
Now, one of the things that is a big difference between Boise State and New Mexico is the amount that the teams use their bench. Boise State heavily reliant on their depth. New Mexico not so much. And Tatum Thompson, one of the members off the bench, had a strong first half.
Yeah, and I mean, in 7 minutes, she went 3 for 3, making all of the shots that she take. And I mean, with 6 points, and she contributes to a lot of the points that they do have off the bench. But this whole entire conference play here, she's been a very reliable player off of the bench. She comes in and she gives good minutes, and she produces in the short amount of time that she does play.
And bench points, you mentioned it being a story, 15-4, Boise State winning in bench points. So getting 11 points more off the bench. And we talked a bit about points in the paint earlier on at halftime. That's Lalott and Abby Muse's territory.
Yeah, and I mean, Ellie Lalott is just doing a great job at getting the ball. I mean, both of them taking their time and reading the defense first, catching it and seeing if there is going to be a double team and reading it accordingly, especially Ellie Lalott. I mean, she gets it and she kind of knows, like, okay, it's not going to be just straight one-on-one, but for the majority of this game, it kind of has been. It's just been her with one defender, and she's been doing a good job at just making a good move and then finishing as well.
See right there, Abby Muse finishing off that play. Boise State and New Mexico. It's been a solid first half. Broncos up by 11. Second half from ExtraMile Arena up next. Second half set to begin. We'll see if Shaquille Magruder can get going for New Mexico. Just 2 points, 1 of 5 shooting in that first half.
Yeah, Boise State has done a great job at making the adjustment. As the first time they played, she had 25 points. With 11 of those coming from, well, 9 of 11 from the free throw line. So definitely got the ball and got it in the paint and was able to draw those fouls and converted the free throw line. But good adjustment here by Boise State, limited her in that first half, and definitely look for her to try to get going here in the second half.
She's the team's leading scorer, one of the top defensive players in the conference. Knocks that one away out of bounds. It'll stay with Boise State, 11 to shoot. And Magruder last year was named to the All-Mountain West defensive team. Coming in, she's top 10 in the Mountain West. Points, rebounds, blocks, and steals. Just 3 to shoot. Osley, catch and shoot is perfect.
What a great first possession to start this second half. And, I mean, what a great shot. Rainbow 3.
And she knew it. Magruder, line drive, trying to get herself going. Another rebound for Muse on the Broncos side. Magruder is just 7 for 33 from 3. Natalie, or make that Danny Bays all alone for 3. 2 triples for Boise State to start the second half, and a timeout New Mexico. Danny Bays lasers it in, and Boise State, their largest lead. Don't forget the Broncos will be back in action as a Who would have thought Boise State would be more than doubling New Mexico from the three-point line?
I mean, yeah, coming out 5 for 15, but to start this half in 1 minute, back-to-back drain threes to kind of get this second half going. I mean, what better way to start than that?
Both teams have attempted 15 threes. Boise State's made 5. New Mexico just 2, so they go back door. Latasia Duff.
Yeah, that was a good play right out of the timeout. Definitely drew that up in that timeout there to try to get some momentum.
Boise State, certainly one of the most improved teams in this Mountain West season. Been heavily reliant on freshmen scoring. 44% of the points this year have been scored by freshmen. One of those big freshmen not in the lineup, Maya Hansen, missing her 4th straight. Backdoor, well done. Osley sets up Muse.
Yeah, that was a great pass. One of those thread the needle passes where the defender was right there. I mean, if she would have turned her head, she would have had the easy steal, but great pass and great finish.
Osley hits the deck hard with the movement from New Mexico. Reyes for 3, not this time. Lalott pulls a rebound. Osley has been a playmaker, tying her career high, 4 assists. A foul before the ball goes out of bounds. It's on Cumber. DNA Cumber, her first, team's first. And one more look.
Yeah, you see that high-low between Ellie Lalott and Abby Muse, something that they do a lot. Normally it's opposite. Normally it's Abby throwing it to Ellie Lalott, but that time was able to get the foul called.
Well executed, baseline inbounds, but can't execute the layup. But a turnover. Bays. Osley, tie up. And New Mexico gets the arrow. Latora Duff, great hands.
Yeah, that was a great play. She tried to slice through and go from the left side to the right and left the ball exposed, and she just dug her hands in there and was able to get that jump ball.
Is it one of those where you got to trust the left hand?
Yeah.
You're trying to force it to your more comfortable hand on the layup?
Yeah, or you just go through there and tuck the ball and hold it like a running back.
And that's a foul on a three-point shooter. Latasia Duff will head to the line. First on Danny Bays, first against Boise State in the quarter, and 3 free throws upcoming for a 92% free throw shooter.
Yeah, both teams only shot 4 free throws total, both 100% in the first half.
Well, no longer 100%. All Mountain West a season to go. Tay Duff from Sampson, Alabama. That's the second. We'll get one more. First stop, Shelton State Community College. They're now here with the Lobos of New Mexico. Has scored 1,000 points. It's 2 of 3. Muse poked away. Great hands by Ogman. Tie up, and this time the possession arrow gives it to Boise State.
Yeah, you got to be careful when breaking the press. There are going to be people behind you, and she just did a great job at poking that ball out of Abby Muse's hands, and both teams did a great job at diving for the loose ball.
Lalott wants that in the post against Cumber. Uses her force. Can't get the roll. Cumber tips the rebound. Secured by Duff. Tay Duff bounces. Reyes for Cumber. New Mexico slows it down in front of Coach Mike Bradbury. Stoic on the sideline. Big collision as Lalott barrels into Ogman. And Lalott is guilty.
Yeah, that looked like one of those fouls where if you're going to foul her, they need to foul her. Make sure that she doesn't get a good attempt up at the rim. I mean, got her with the body, got her with the arm. I mean, definitely did not want her to get that in one.
See if New Mexico can get back into this game at the free throw line. Ogman's a 69% shooter, a sophomore from San Jose. Now 3 of 3 from the stripe. 4 points for Augman, all from the free throw line. Boise State's largest lead was 17. Narrow across the timeline. Whirl around for Danny Hayes. Covered a lot of ground on that possession.
Yeah, and that's a great read.
And the forward one on the other end.
Yeah, I mean, for Boise State, I think that's a part of their set there, where if they're denying that handoff, then you just curl and keep on going through. And there was no help from New Mexico, and a great pass by Abby Muse and a cut by Danny Bays for that wide open layup.
As you mentioned, Breland, that's part of the freshman growth. At the beginning of the year, you might not be as comfortable with the sets, but now you're getting towards the back end of the schedule. You know where you're supposed to be. You know your movements. Danny Bays airballs that three. Augman pivots, hook, and Narrow holds up defensively. Boise State with numbers. Muse attacks the rim. She's bumped, no call. That's the feel of the first quarter. There wasn't many whistles. Reyes runs the floor. So Paula Reyes, a sophomore out of Spain, gets the transition baskets. Bays, they go under. She launches. In and out. DNA Cumber for New Mexico. Pulls in a rebound. Latora Duff gallops to the rim and gets fouled.
Yeah, she might have got away with a travel there, a little bit of an extra step, but nonetheless, definitely had contact on that layup there. And now she's at the line for two, which is something that New Mexico has done a great job of doing in this quarter.
Danny Bays didn't like it, but she used the one call for the foul. Tatum Thompson, Natalie Pasco, Trishna Hole in for Boise State. And Amaya Brown is back in for New Mexico. Back rim from Duff. Latora, the point guard, at the line. Goes by Torres. Latasia goes by Tay. She's the shooting guard. They work hand in hand. And Duff, Latora, second in the conference in assists. I do not have on hand how many of them two are assisting.
That would be an interesting stat I would like to know.
That's the advanced analytics. I don't have access to those. I'm sure the coaches do. Shot clock down to 6. Osley, who's a good shooter, bounce passes, rolling hole to the rim, scoops it home.
Yeah, that's textbook pick and roll. I mean, great execution there.
Crossover, Cumber stumbles, can't regather, near the end line. Out of bounds. It will stay with New Mexico up next. Breland called it, beautiful basketball, the off-ball movement from Danny Bays. The peak of the Mountain West standings with the conference tournament less than a month away from the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. The UNLV Rebels at the top, 12-0. After that, though, anybody's guess. Crazy when you have second place and 8th place separated by just 2 games.
Just 2 games. I mean, Boise State's 1 win away and 1 loss away from being in that top 2 or 3 spot. So, I mean, you're crawling, you're trying to make your way up there and hope that other teams win, other teams beat, other teams upsets happen, and I mean, that's the beauty of basketball.
Now, you've seen a good amount of the league this year. Is there a team in that middle group that has caught your eye as the most dangerous?
I mean, I feel like everyone has had their times where they look really good. It's like you kind of never know how a team's going to come out and play. I mean, everyone has shown that they can be up there at the top.
Look at that last sequence. Boise State gets to stop, though, on this end. Now, one thing I can say for sure, no coach will have the Mountain West tournament experience and resume that Coach Gordy Presnell has for Boise State. That winning the conference tournament championship in 2015, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Of course, that 4-peats.
Yeah, and I also think it's an important thing to know that he also has a lot of freshmen playing that have never played in a college championship either, so it's kind of both ways.
Yeah. Experienced coach and experienced team.
Yeah.
Boise State turns it over. Reyes, the Spaniard, whips it around. Duff finds Augman. Broncos back off of her. Latora Duff contested three and knocks it down. She shoots just 26% from three, but looked confident on that one.
I was about to say, yeah, definitely shot that. And, I mean, shoot all of them because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's what I say. And especially when you're down and you need points, why not?
New Mexico within 11. Important minutes here with the Bronco bench in the game. The starters for starters. Boise State has dominated those minutes. Anna Osley rattles it home. That's a big shot to bounce the lead back to 14.
Yeah, that's a huge shot there. I mean, make a three to offset the three that they just made. Now you're back up by 14 points and trying to expound on that lead heading into the fourth quarter.
Now, Boise State plays more players than New Mexico. Lobos really go 7, maybe 8 deep. Magruder, again, has been quiet in this game, lays it in. Just her 4th points. She averages 14. She had 25 and 14. 25 points, 14 rebounds in the January 21st meeting at the pit where New Mexico won it. No one around narrow, flicks the wrist. Might have rushed it. Thompson chases the rebound.
Yeah, and I think you were right. Sometimes when you're a little too open, it kind of seems a little unreal, like, oh, how'd I get this open?
Thompson forces the bounce pass into traffic, and it's last touched by Hull. New Mexico possession.
I know that you talked a lot about how New Mexico only plays 7 players, but what's impressive is that all 7 of those players have been a leading scorer at some point in this season. So they have really balanced scoring attack. As I mentioned in the open last week, as they went 1 for 1, they had 5 players average double figures in those 2 games.
Had 4 players score in double figures against San Diego State in their win. Magruder gets bumped in the act, even though she didn't shoot the ball. That's interesting. She was in the act of shooting, but you have to actually shoot the ball, I would think. This isn't the NBA where you get the continuation, right?
Or maybe they're saying that because of the foul she didn't get to get the ball up. I mean, you never know.
Coach Bresnell caught that right away. He had a demonstrative reaction to that one, but Magruder does head to the line. Now, Magruder, we've mentioned that she has been quiet in the scoring column in this game. You can see Coach Bresnell there still upset about that being a shooting foul. Just visibly, Magruder, tape on her left shoulder, tape on her left knee, so you know she's battling through it. Over her last 3 games, the scoring has been down, but she's still a big boost being in the lineup. Pasco with the left hand.
Yeah, that was a great layup and finish by Pasco, but to kind of bounce off of what you were saying, yeah, this is the point of the season where you're a little bruised, you're a little bumped up, a little fatigued, a little tired, and this is where you have to fight through and kind of, you know, use that grit to kind of get you through.
Just love the effort. And a lot of people just don't see the amount of work that these student athletes have to go through on a day-in, day-out basis to be able to be at their best on the floor. It's not just the 40 minutes you get to see them in between the lines. Scoop layup, well done, Amaya Brown.
Yeah, what a great move. I mean, falling, trying to shoot it over a contested Ellie Lalade. I mean, that was great.
Magruder with a block shot, so there she goes, making the impact. Reyes runs the floor, no look, bounce pass. Oh, Brown can't pay it off. That would have been pretty.
Yeah, she shot it with her right hand, and I mean, the play before she made a nice scoop with the left, so wonder why she reserted back to the right hand on that layup, but yeah, missed an easy one. She's gonna want that one back.
Still a 10-point Boise State lead. They declined to go 2 for 1. Lalate gathers, rockets, 5 to shoot. Osley sidesteps, pulls up, rainbow, left rim. Latora Duff can hold for 1. Her sister at the scorer's table. She'll check in at the end of the quarter. Magruder rolls, catches, pivots, tipped by Osley. 1 second, that shouldn't count. And it won't. That does it for the third. You saw it there, Osley hits the three. She's also had a new career high in assists as Boise State holds a double-digit lead. I like the theme. I think I heard like 3rd and 4th grade class out, and they wore their jerseys as they performed at halftime. They had the Vancouver Grizzlies themed jerseys that had Boise on it. Of course, other fans in attendance as well. Get your popcorn ready. This 4th quarter could be a show. Boise State leads by 10. New Mexico, though, has found their footing. They actually won that 3rd quarter 18-17.
Yeah, shot way better in that quarter as well. Went 5 for 13, shooting 38%, which is way better than what they were shooting in the first half. So better offense. And let's see if they can pull together a couple runs here to close this gap.
LD Lalott in for Boise State. She leads the team 10 points, the only player in double figures. But 3 others with 8. Another balanced performance by Boise State. Do they have enough down the stretch? Osley off his screen, fires a 3, in and out. Rebound volleyed, Magruder wins it. Shows the versatility for New Mexico. Paula Reyes brings the ball up. She started a lot of games at the power forward position. Off the bench today, Duff rockets a 3. She almost shot that one from the hip. Stays with Boise State. So what do you think are the keys for each of the teams down the stretch here?
I think if you're Boise State, you definitely want to get some quality shots on offense. You don't want to give New Mexico an opportunity to score without you scoring. And if you're New Mexico, I mean, you just have to know that it's serious now. I mean, it's always been serious, but like that right there, deflections. You need things like that to crawl your way back into this game. You have to score on offense, but you also have to get stops. I mean, Boise State's still shooting great for the game at 47%, very high percentage. So definitely want to guard the 3 as well. Just, you know, make sure that you're doing everything right, trying to limit the mistakes and try to put some points on the board.
Every pass seemingly deflected. A couple of them by Magruder, who is a contender for the Defensive Player of the Year in the Mountain West. So active. Flat down to 4. Osley off the Muse screen. Snakes it, floats it, and hits it! Oh, my! One of the shots of the season from Abby Muse. And the Broncos get a steal on the other end.
Wow, that was a great shot. I mean, falling, the buzzer going off for the shot clock, and rainbow floater, nothing but net.
Pounded on the sidelines, gets fouled. She still has that bright grin on her face from what she did at the end of the shot clock.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, hustle there, doing everything that she can. I mean, now she's in double figures, 10 points, knocked down a couple of 3s, made all of her free throws, has 5 assists on the game. I mean, all around great game.
An outrageous shot. Splitting the double. Float game strong. Oh, nearly an assist. Lalott misses the layup and can't get the stick back. And they say it was last touch by Boise State somehow. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. You look at the replay here.
Yeah, it's clearly off of Humber there.
Yeah, missed call there.
Nobody's perfect. Backdoor, great pass from Ogman. And the layup through from Vianney Cumber, her 5th point tonight.
Yeah, she had to double pump that one, or Mary Kay Nero was going to block that.
10-point game, seemingly can't get within single digits. Have a chance here. Magruder, the steal. Oh, she misses the layup and then fouls Lalott. Well, if that's not a symbol of the last 4 games for Magruder, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I mean, what a great steal, anticipation, and sometimes you're just a little too wide open, and definitely upset with herself after that when she can't believe it.
Shaquille Magruder, an excellent player, one of the best in the conference, all-conference caliber. Made the all-conference team a season ago for a Lobo team that finished 2nd in the league. She's great on defense, got the steal, everything but the bucket. Osley reverse layup, she has the touch, the magic touch. She's in double figures, has 10, hook shot, no, but a foul as Ogman will head to the line. Osley playing Twister to her list of accomplishments today.
Yeah, I mean, 10 of her 12 points have came in this second half. She came out focused, and I mean, what a great cut and even better finish.
See, playing Twister, that's what I was referring to. Right hand red, left foot yellow.
Falling backwards.
I don't know, do they still play Twister these days? I don't know, it's not in the video games. I don't know if people still break out the old Twister mat these days.
I think so. It's one of those throwback games that's kind of nostalgic, you know.
Should have a warning, cannot be 28 or older, or else it could be sore the next day. Couple of chances at the line, not converted for Ogman, so that's 4 points. New Mexico can think back on that they should have had. Meanwhile, Anna Osley continues her heater. New season high, 14 points.
Yeah, I mean, she's just having a great half. Now she's 5 for 12, still with those made threes, and New Mexico comes back and makes a three.
VNA Cumber in rhythm. Timeout called by Coach Mike Bradbury of New Mexico. It's an 11-point game. Anna Osley, unstoppable. Everything she touches turns to gold. Scottsdale, Arizona, stand up. Anna Osley has taken over.
Yeah, I mean, started out with this amazing floater to beat the buzzer, and then a nice flip of the backhand for the cut there. And I mean, in this quarter, she's 3 for 4 with 6 points, and most of her points coming here in the second half, 12 of her 14. And I mean, just great performance here.
And most of her points coming from inside the arc. She's usually more of a catch and shoot, behind the three-point line player. She's been getting on the interior and finishing in traffic. Boise State turns it over. New Mexico another chance to cut it to single digits. Magruder lays it in. Osley hits the floor. Just a 9-point game. And a turnover in the backcourt. Pull up Duff. Yes! Mike Bradbury's punch has found a groove. Timeout called Boise State.
Oh man, that was like 4 points in 5 seconds.
Reggie Miller likes that. In fact, it's 7 points in the last 40 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely how you come back into this game. And I mean, if you're Boise State, this is a very good timeout by Gordy to kind of get the team back together and say, hey, look, we have this game. Do not let it go off of silly mistakes like, turn the ball over right in front of their basket. But yeah, I mean, great intensity here out of the timeout by New Mexico.
So nervous moments for the fans in Boise. It's been a double-digit lead through most of the way since the second quarter. Now just a 7-point game. Osley's trapped. Bays escapes. Narrow gallops and settles. Doubled. Examines. Looks. Muse. Finally, the Broncos can relax for just a half a second. This Lobos defense will swarm.
They were smothering.
And now the clock at just 7, and you're getting into your offense now. Lalat on the block, double comes, doesn't care.
Yeah, that was just a great move, a great catch, and she saw the double team coming and still was able to knock it down.
Muse defends Cumber. Latora Duff gets the step on Narrow. Whistle sounds as she hits the floor, and it's a foul on Boise State. Elodie Lalat, just her second. Remember, she fouled out of the game against Fresno State, played just 14 minutes.
Yeah, it looks like she got her a little bit with the body, and I mean, if you're New Mexico, this is the perfect way to get points on the board without the clock rolling on the free throw line.
All the rim, but gets the friendly roll on the road. exhale. Just a perfect start and a perfect finish to the routine. That press, once again a factor, with it being a 7-point game. Narrow accelerates across the timeline. And now Boise State can get into their set. Under 5 to play. Narrow goes backdoor, Lalott with the pass. Narrow rushes, Muse gathers and lays it in.
That's one thing that she does so well, is getting those offensive rebounds and giving Boise State another chance at scoring. And there she just was able to get it and go right back up for the 2.
Lalott hits the deck, and Cumber makes her pay. Big time 3 for VNA Cumber. Lalott's okay, and the officials blew the whistle, making sure that Lalott got the help she needed.
Yeah, it looked like she just kind of tweaked when she tried to close out there. A little twist of the leg. I don't know if that was the ankle or the knee, but ground might have been a little slick right there and kind of caught.
This new first-year floor at ExtraMile Arena. That's a tough place to catch it inbounds. And somehow Osley knocks it off the body of Lobo to keep Boise State with possession.
Yeah, you're right. That is not an area you want to catch the ball when you know that the other team's trapping.
Tough place to throw it in as well, and results in nearly a turnover. Somehow Boise State digs it out like a football fumble. Narrow is poked from behind and a foul. And Augman, first foul for her, or make that third foul.
Man, that was super close. If New Mexico was able to get that steal, I mean, the ball was right there.
It's one of those where I think in football the stat is fumble luck. You know, it's not necessarily a skill of recovering fumbles. It's more of luck, being in the right place, right time. That was Boise State with the fumble luck in the backcourts. Anna Osley, catch and shoot 3. A rare miss. Bays the rebound. Osley attacks, retreats. A reset. Tatum, Thompson. Forward off the bench. Pivots. Narrow. Steps into a 3. Way off. You could tell as soon as it left her hands. And Augman chases the rebound. Turns it over.
I'm surprised she was even able to stay in bounds.
And the clock is the friend of Boise State as New Mexico within 2 possessions. A 6-point game. Starters -1. Lalott out. Thompson in. Osley turns it down. Muse on the block. Augman, or make that Magruder alters and secures it herself. Cumber trails the play, misses a 3. Augman sticks it back home. She's been big off the bench, and Augman, it's just a 4-point game.
Yeah, that was a big, big offensive rebound there. Came crashing in for it and was able to go up quick with it, knowing that Boise State defenders was surrounding her.
So how do you balance, all right, breaking the press and wanting to use time with, all right, you got to get into your offense and get buckets.
Yeah, you got to move faster.
3 for Osley, way short. New Mexico could pull within 1 possession. They were down as many as 17. Reminiscent of a couple of Boise State games this year where they've let leads slip. Big collision on the block, and it's a blocking foul on Danny Bays. 3rd foul on Boise State.
Yeah, that one's always so close. It's hard to judge and tell there as they're both kind of getting to the same spot at the same time.
Boise State had a game this season against San Jose State where they had a big lead. And then all of a sudden that press made it tough for Boise State to get it across half court, and that lead shrunk. Now they did recover and get the win. Duff for 3, short. Latora Duff, that would have been big if that one dropped. Instead, Boise State gets a rebound and a chance to bring it across half court without that pressure. Muse screens. Osley, no look. Didn't work. Hogman steals it. Down 4. Taduff 3. Almost banked it. And it's Narrow who says, give me this.
Yeah, Boise State on a little bit of a scoring drought right now. Haven't scored in almost 3 minutes. And these are the possessions that count when you go back and watch film the next day.
Step through move and a foul. Mike Bradbury can't believe it for New Mexico. Free throws coming from Muse.
And these will be the first free throws in this half for Boise State. They've only shot in 4 free throws in the game, and it does look like there was contact there on that shot attempt by Abby Muse, so good call.
4th foul on New Mexico, 2nd on Cumber. Boise State still has 1 more foul to give before the bonus situation. Muse can't connect. Yeah, just 62% from the line. .109 seconds left. Boise State leads by 5. 4 straight double-doubles for Muse. Ogman, who's been a reserve, but a big reserve for New Mexico. That pivot foot slides, no call. Cumber 3, way short, and a rebound settles out of bounds. Will belong to Boise State with 1:13.
Man, New Mexico has been shooting nothing but threes their last couple of possessions, trying to lower that lead.
5-second call. Muse couldn't get it in. Coach Presnell, I think, was trying to get that timeout in. Mike Bradbury. Now it's up to him to design a play. New Mexico gets another shot at it. 1:13 to go. Cumber rumbles. Cut off. Ogman 3. Front of the rim. Lalat leaps and vacuums it in. With a minute left.
Yeah, she was open. I mean, it was a good shot. Very makeable.
For a 36% shooter. Good shooter, too. A basket here could be huge. Would open it up to a 3-possession lead. Bays, a reach. 6 seconds to shoot. Lalat, what a great catch. Magruder fronting. Osley with a pass. Those two connect with a high 5. Boise State by 7 and a timeout, New Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, what a great play. Great pass and finish to end the scoring drought. And I mean, Ellie Lalat has been coming up big this game so far. 7 for 12. I mean, 14 points. Good offense there by Boise State.
And that's the career high, tying 6th assists for Osley. She's had a great game. You take a look at what's upcoming for Boise State. They're on a great stretch, winning 4 of 5 since the first game against New Mexico. Of course, the conference's best, UNLV, comes to town on Saturday. We'll have the broadcast here on the Mountain West Network. Gloria Navarez, the new Mountain West commissioner, will join that broadcast at halftime. And then 3 of the last 4 on the road.
Yeah, what better way to go into playing the #1 team in the conference at UNLV than to come in on a roll with 4 straight wins if they can close it out in these last 38 seconds.
New Mexico could certainly use a 3. Latasia Duff, no. Narrow skies, brings it in. Pressure to the backcourt. Osley's the outlet. 3 seconds to get it across. Muse needs to do it, and does just in time.
Ooh, that was close.
And now the shot clock, game clock nearly the same. New Mexico not fouling. Boise State not the best free throw shooting team. New Mexico can get 3s off quickly, but they want to go back to Albuquerque. Shot clock violation, so still some time left. Right now, .1 showing on the clock, so the officials telling everybody, hey, wait a minute, get back to the sideline. Don't come on the court. Coach's handshake already happened. Maybe they'll do it again, maybe not.
Yeah, that .1.
Every 10th of a second counts. Without a 10th of a second, Coach Presnell won't get back. Mike Bradbury right next to him. It's a funny shot, both of those guys. Successful coaches, and 0.8 left. The officials just kind of shrug their shoulders, and okay, that'll do it. Strange way to end it, but still a fun one. And Boise State gets the big win, their 4th in a row. First 4-game winning streak since the 2019-2020 season. They're playing their best basketball, back to the 500 mark on the year, and now 8-5 in conference, knocking off New Mexico 69-62.
Yeah, what a great way to bounce back after losing to them about 3 weeks ago. I mean, made the necessary adjustments, as you mentioned earlier, on their best players. Just all around solid game. It looked like this game they were able to put together 4 solid quarters. I know that's one thing. And talking with Gordy Presnell, he said there's always that one quarter that kind of beats us up, but this was a solid performance by Boise State.
So Boise State has won 4 straight, 5 of 6, and 6 of 8. Yeah, this is a team before that stretch that looked like have a lot of adversity. It would have to figure itself out. The improvement is real. This team's growing up. They're growing up fast. Anna Osley joining us. What a game. 14 points, 5 of 14 shooting, 2 of 8 from 3, 6 assists, by the way, which ties the career high. Congratulations on the win. It looked like something else got into you at the start of the 4th quarter of this one. Take me through what the mentality was as you scored some big points down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, our whole team just wanted to get another dub. Winning has felt really good, and we knew this was going to be a hard one, but the energy on the floor was just like, hey, let's give it our all, and if we mess up, we mess up, but at least we could say we tried.
Mentioned those 6 assists, which ties a career high. Your 14 points, it says on the screen right there, is a season high. So for you personally, I know you're in the starting lineup now, replacing Maya Hansen for now. How is that affecting your game?
Honestly, I just want to help the team win, and whatever that takes is what I'm going to try to do every night. You know, starting or coming off the bench, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to play the same.
Getting the support from the people that you're looking at right now, and why not? 14 points and 6 assists in the game. New Mexico's a team that came in one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country. Held them to just 5 made threes in the game. How'd you do it?
You know, we got lucky. They missed some shots that they usually would make, and we were there to take advantage of that, but we definitely got shot in the eye a few too many times. Luckily, they didn't go in.
Well, you get the big win here. Got a home game against UNLV next. Looking forward to that one. Anna Osley, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
There you go. A good performance in the starting lineup. Came in averaging 5 per game, 14 points. For a player, again, who I usually describe as a sharpshooter, she did a little bit of everything in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, and like she said, they made the adjustments in all ways.
So we go from a guard to a big, a shooter to a post player, as LD Lalott takes over the microphone as Boise State wins it 69-62. Lalott, thanks for joining. 14 points, 7 of 12 shooting, 5 rebounds. And I know for you probably wanted to get the taste out of your mouth from the last game where you battled foul trouble. So how good did it feel to get right back at it in this one?
It felt great. It was a great feeling to be there on the court and especially beat New Mexico. I know that's something we wanted to do for a couple of years now, so it's a good feeling. That's
a good point. The team lost 3 in a row to the Lobos. You get the win here. You keep track of it. You are one of the rare players now in the rotation who's been around the block quite a bit, so you got to know the history between the teams.
Yeah, I do.
So big performance at the pit. You had 20 and 12 in that game. You do the same in this one with 14 and 5. What's it like matching up against Jaquel Magruder, one of the top defensive players in the conference?
It's good. She's a good player. It's good to play against some other good post players.
What makes her tough on the defensive side?
Well, she's very quick. She's very quick, and she's very long, so you got to adjust to that.
All right, so this team, we've mentioned it throughout the broadcast, playing its best basketball. Winners of 4 straight, 5 of 6, 6 of 8. Why is this team playing better now?
I think we learned how to play together and how to start the quarters good. Just come out with a good start so we can finish strong.
Tough test up next against UNLV. That'll be a fun one right here at Extra Mile Arena. LD a lot. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
There you go. The 6'3" junior. The big post player for Boise State. 14 points and a bounce-back performance. And I know, Breland, once you have a poor game, there's nothing more you want to do than take the court the next time out and show why you're one of the best players.
Yeah, and then that as well as guarding Magruder, who scored 25 points in the last meeting, and you definitely have that on your shoulder too, to try to stop her and try to make the adjustments to make sure she doesn't have a great game, and they were able to do both. She was able to bounce back offensively and defensively.
Well, big win for Boise State. Get the victory, 69-62. Get the season split with New Mexico and improve to 500 on the year. For Breland Blanding, our entire crew here on the Mountain West Network, my name is Chris Lewis. Next broadcast Saturday, 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Boise State welcomes the top team in the Mountain West, the UNLV Lady Rebels. Until then, signing off from Extra Mile.